Hi, hello everybody. Welcome to Design Reflections. Design Reflections is a series by Sissy Jam. Welcome, Gaurav.
Hi,
Welcome to
hi,
the
good morning. How
program.
are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, I'll
Right.
quickly introduce you to the series and I will introduce the audience to you as well and take it further. Sissy Jam, Gaurav Pathak, glass producer, firm with one with operations across 40 countries and four continents, thus establishing global presence. They are one of the top three global producers of glass in its main business lines with 85 years of experience in glass industry. Their strong expertise holds a workforce of over almost 20,000 under the revenue of over $1 billion. Talking about this series, it's my pleasure to welcome called Design Reflections, which talks about the past, present, and future. And it is presented by CC Jam Flat Glass India. CC Jam Flat Glass India is presenting Design Reflections. As the name suggests, and we understand that it reflects the past, present, and future, not just of glass, but also of the designers coming in with us and talking about their expertise on design. Let's know what architect Gaurav Pathak has to say. Let me introduce myself. I am architect Himani Ahuja, and I lead a firm called One Digital, and we do brand engagements and we do collaborations into the world of PR and communication. Welcoming architect Gaurav Pathak. He will join with us back, but let me introduce you to him. Architect Gaurav Pathak is the co-founder of Design 21, which is a leading luxury architecture firm of India, and they're based out of Gurugram. And they've worked with, Indian, Dutch, and American award-winning design firms on large scale and small scale projects. Gaurav personally has worked onto it. In his initial 5 years as an architect, he polished his design sensibilities by working under renowned names from the architecture industry, not just in India, but also on international grounds, talking about places in like Holland and US. His 6 years of international experience in the US and a master's degree in interior architecture has helped him gain a global perspective towards design and also space and function. I'd be happy to have Gaurav back with us so we can lead this through again.
Can you hear me here
Gaurav,
now?
we can't see you. I can hear you, but your
There is some
video
problem
is
with
not
here.
working.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see you well now. I just introduced the audience to you. Welcome, Gaurav. Welcome
Yes.
on
Thanks.
Design
Thank you, Mary.
Reflections. Let's
Thank you for
start.
having me.
Let's talk about what we are here for, also about your design journey. Let's first start with your design journey as an architect. So, what are the different factors that towards design and architecture?
So, I think right from schooling, I was pretty fascinated by creative fields. I mean, I was into art, I was into sculpting. So I think that prompted me to do something related to that field. I was not. I had taken up physics, chemistry, and maths. I wasn't so great in physics and chemistry, but I really enjoyed maths. So you know it seemed like I wanted to do something which was a combination of maths and creative fields. So yeah, architecture was something which was introduced to me by my faculty, and here I am after pursuing this profession for past 20 years. uh,
Right, absolutely. So, I that hobby with math and then had design. So, tell us about basically what like a long process of design, patience and belief having the luxury to kind of have a product. What's your favorite part in the entire life process?
So I think this entire process. I mean, there are various stages to this process. The various stages, which obviously is, you have to be consistent in all of them. You cannot say that I'm going. This is my favorite part, and I'm going to be interested in this one. I'm not going to be interested in that one. I feel that the entire process you have to be, right from the planning level. You have to stay focused. From selection of materials, from interaction with the client, everything is important. I mean, you cannot isolate one from the other. But at the same time, I also feel that my favorite part being when the project is finally handed over to the client, and you start to realize that what you had started with and what you have ended. I personally feel that it's the last leg of the project where all the efforts are starting to show. Your efforts and your interactions and your thought processes and your interaction with the clients, everything come to amalgamation of the final result. I would say the last leg is the most important for me.
That part of the process. So that what are the favorite projects? What are the different typology or commercial project, creative project? What you're following? What are you working on?
So, I mean, obviously, all styles are important for us because all the clients are different. You cannot say that I'm going to be working on a particular style, because we personally feel that the requirement and the design should be driven by the client. You know, uh,
Right.
but at the same time, personally, I have really enjoyed working on classic modern. The classic modern is a perfect blend of modern and traditional, and it kind of mixed with minimalist styling. uh,
Right.
there is the style that features clean, simple, contemporary lines, and yet there is the complex traditional furniture and finishes. So I mean that's one of my favorite styles because it also involves a lot of proportioning and logic has to be applied everywhere. So I would say modernism and classic blended together.
You need that kind of blend of modern and vintage style at one together. So I think that works well. Okay, so let's move on to today's topic. We are talking about retrofitting glass with other materials to achieve luxury. So how do you think this concept of luxury is kind of related to glass?
I think glass is probably one of the most important materials. I mean, if you look at the various palettes and the various materials available to architects these days, I think glass has a unique property that allows it to be completely opaque yet completely transparent. And this material has been used in various cultures from many, it was used in Egyptian civilization, it was used in Greece, and all different cultures have adapted glass to their particular skills which was available at that time. I mean, if you even if you look at traditional techniques in Rajasthan, tikri is one such you know art or skill which allows people to break down glasses and use it in walls. So I personally feel glass has that unique property which a lot of other materials don't. But then it allows one to use it creatively into different areas as per the requirement of the space.
Right,
It can be
right,
used indoors, it can be used outdoors. I mean, it's entirely how creative you can go with glass.
right, right. Absolutely. Glass is a versatile material and it can be used in any which way possible. whether it's a residential space or a commercial space, can be any typology and elements. Okay, so let's move on to, since Design 21 is going to be a luxury architecture. I want to know that luxury is usually, connected with spaces with embellishments and ornamentations and decor. So do you think that's all about luxury, or is there any other way how a space can breathe and manifest luxury?
So, luxury actually is a very relative term. What is luxury for me might not be luxury for you. What might be luxurious in our country can be different from another culture. So it changes. I mean, it's a very dynamic term. It changes its characteristics and properties. Uh, you know, it also works upon the material. I mean, if there are certain materials which are available in our country, it might not be available in other countries, so it's luxury for us. Uh, I personally feel that besides the embellishments and the high-end decor, it is also the other elements, the spatial planning, the quality of light, how comfortable a person is in that space makes it more luxurious. It has to be a perfect balance between all these elements, the materials, the space, the volumes, the light, and I think that's what makes it luxury.
Right, right. More
Perfect
like
blend.
auction of all the things in
Yes.
one place. Absolutely great. Okay, so like we are talking about usage of glass and a luxurious environment. So, what are the various materials, different properties that can be used with glass to give usage?
So I think with the use of technology, a lot of these materials can be superimposed on the glass. It can be blended with the glass. Metal, wood, fabric. These are such materials, which allow us to create different types of glasses or different layering on the glasses. Uh, and the other ways of using glasses also treating it from the back. Let's talk about mirrors. Antique mirror is something which has become quite fashionable these days. I mean, we have been using a lot of antique mirrors in numerous projects, and it kind of adds that vintage look, a very, you know, unique quality to glass, which is not there in any of the materials. So,
Right,
it totally depends on how you use a material behind glass or within glass.
right, right. So, because that's something a challenge that we face when they talk about products, materials, elements being sustainable. So because we are people at the level that you need to be mindful of what you can provide.
I'm sorry, you'll have to repeat the question. Not very
So
audible.
I just mean the materials that we were talking about, which are with glass, in collision with glass that we are using. Do they have any specific properties of sustainability? Because as a designer, what we provide to the client, has to be sustainable also, specifically in today's world. So, what do you have to say about that?
So I think glass is one such material which is extremely sustainable. It's one such product. If you were to look at what you use to recycle and what's the outcome, I would say that 100% glass which has been attempted to be recycled, the end result is also 100%. So it allows a complete material to be transformed or completely recycled. But at the same time, I think you have to be very careful in how you recycle these glasses. I mean, unless you follow the right techniques, unless you follow the right process, you cannot have a good quality recycled glass. I think in luxury projects, quality is the foremost important thing. You cannot ignore the fact that uh, you cannot ignore the quality associated with any product because people are very particular. I mean, when you have these luxury projects, uh, people have traveled, they have seen materials, and most of the times these are their second or third home. So they've been through that entire process. They understand the nuances. They understand, the details and the effort that needs to go in. And obviously, materials is one such thing which people are extremely particular about because that is what they're looking forward to in their projects. Uh, in terms of sustainability, any material which can be recycled and can be blended in, for example, fabric, metal mesh, metal can be recycled and it can be added to to a glass screen. At the same time, photovoltaic cells is another element which has been added, which has been attempted to be added to a clear glass. I mean, we are a little far away from uh, achieving a perfectly most efficient photovoltaic clear glass panel. I mean, if I'm correct, if I'm not wrong, then maybe 10% is the efficiency right now of a clear photovoltaic glass. But
Wow.
yeah, it's something which is being worked upon, and we're hoping that very soon it can also be a part of the sustainable product list which we're using.
Absolutely. I so talk about the CCTV plan. See what exactly you can do on these tasks. And let's talk also about like what are the different types of tasks that can be used in an interior space, because earlier we that there was one type of task that is used in a residential environment, for example, but now there are different types of how task is used for different motives also for that matter. So what are the types that you think can be used in a luxury project or a project, apart from the standard usage of a basic partition?
So glass, I think, has again a very unique property of allowing light to be controlled. I mean, if I were to make it 100% opaque and break a space, then I can use a certain type of glass, and
Right.
obviously add materials which have that property of blocking light. At the same time, I can create a big expanse by creating partitions, yet physically dividing the space. So you create a partition with translucent, transparent properties. Uh, you create physical barriers, but then visually you expand the space. So
Right.
glass with fabrics, with metal again. I mean, I think I've mentioned this before, but
Yeah.
uh, various kinds of material allow themselves to be uh, attached to glass screen or a glass surface, obviously with a frame, and that's how it is used. Uh, it's also important to understand that the external skill, as the skin of the building, is equally important. I mean, while we are talking about the interiors, in luxury spaces, uh, more often than not, people are also concerned what kind of light is coming through, the outer skin of the building. Uh, Vertical surfaces on the outside, even horizontal surfaces on the ceilings. There was a project I remember where we were doing a farmhouse for a client, and we kind of bumped into a space where you know it was necessary for us to have that kind of an environment for that room, but there was no source for natural light. So that's when we realized that it's important to have a skylight. I mean, creating a skylight would allow natural light to filter and create, certain characteristics of that space which the client was looking for. So it's important, how you can imagine glass being used, and then obviously these skins have to be treated. I mean, you cannot. There are certain characteristics to these glasses which allow heat to be blocked or which prevent the heat loss from inside or the cooling from inside to be lost to the environment outside. So yeah, it's uh, important element to be used both inside and outside.
Right, right, absolutely. So, do you think that when we use these environments which are created and crafted in glass materials, do they have some physical health or psychological or physiological impact on the user?
I think, uh, as a human. tendency. We want to feel comfortable in any space we have inhabited, we are using. Uh, the choice of materials, the choice of colors, the scale of the space, they become very important for any space. One cannot feel comfortable if he's being, he's sitting in a very aggressive, so not aggressive, but a place where the materials are too bold or too loud. So I think it's important aspect. The choice of materials is extremely important of how a space is conceived or created.
So can you share maybe a couple of examples from your project where you use glass in different
So, very recently we were doing a project, a retail project, where it was important. We had all these surfaces were extremely textured, and we wanted to expand the space. Uh, expand the space because we wanted the customer to feel that he was walking into a big expanse. We were tempted to use a clear glass, which would be very reflective. But at the same time, when we realized there were some antique-looking, vintage, textured, printed glasses, so we just grabbed onto those, and it kind of came up beautiful because it kind of just blended itself to the environment. The textured walls, the textured floor, and there you have a visually textured glass surface, which obviously became reflective. So yeah, that was one area where we were quite happy to use glass in a very different form.
So can you your design reflective moment? What I mean by that is I want to know what has been a reflective moment in your life in terms of your design.
So I think design reflective moment is when you realize that how important working with the client is. Clients, everybody is different. Architecture and interiors have to be an extension of the client's personality. When the project is finally over, you are able to, you are it's when the project is over, you get time to actually sit back and and realize what was missed in the project, how the interactions have finally been transformed, how your vision is finally converted into reality, what were the misses, what were the learnings. But I think the most important part is your interactions with the clients, because every project is different. You have to uh, you have to keep learning. You keep improving your ability to understand people. I mean, we think that architecture and interiors is about us, the architects, but actually it's the other way around. It's about the user. And I think as and when we move on from one project to other, your skills of reading people, reading their requirements, reading their basic family background,
Right,
understanding and converting that into a real project, which
right.
finally be impacting their lives. I think that is something which you feel is important, and helps you reflect into a project more deeply.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think understanding the time, the grassroots level is very important when you're doing a project because it's not just a physical project, but it's also emotional, right? So you have to go emotionally strong and strong with the aspect from every angle. And I think that's the way how an architect can go further in terms of design, or design process. So,
Yeah.
okay, so I'd like to know one last thing. Since you're representing Design 21, I would like to know if you can reveal some upcoming projects that we can look up to from Design 21 now.
So, quite a few interesting projects. We are working on many farmhouses in Delhi, a couple of them in Lucknow, uh, some important apartments in Vasant Vihar, Delhi. One very exciting project which we are all looking forward to is it's an island in Canada. So
Wow.
we have associates in the US who are deeply working with clients over there, and that's one exciting project which we're looking forward to working. Yeah.
Interesting. So, what that what one and before we summarize design podcast that that forms and it doesn't just be a partition. It is much beyond that, and it's a versatile material can be used extensively there. Thank you, Gaurav, for joining us and for sharing your views and experiences on glass and on design. Lovely having you.
Yes, thank you, Mani. Thanks for having me. It was a
Thank you.
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Yep. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on Design Reflections by Sissy Jam Flat Glass India. We had architect Gaurav Pathak with us from Design 21, which is a luxury architectural firm based out of India. Thank you for joining in.